Yo, what's going on, YouTube family? Got some exciting news. I redesigned and relaunched my UX portfolio website, which you can check out at jeremydudu.com. So it's jeremidudu.com. And I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself. But in this video, I wanted to talk about my process of how I got to where it's at today. If you need some inspiration on starting your website or updating your website because you're not making progress right now, hopefully you get some inspiration by the end of this video. The main reason that I redesigned my website was because I hated manually going in and making updates to my old portfolio. The old portfolio was built on an HTML5 template that I found back in 2014. Anytime I wanted to update images or fonts or text within my website, I had to manually get into the code and I had to get into Sublime Text and make sure that nothing was broken. So if I wanted to make simple updates, it basically took me half a day to a full day to do that. And with a 7-month-old daughter, it's hard to manage that at this point in my life. So with my new UX portfolio, I didn't want to manually code anything. I wanted a simple tool that made it easy for me to customize my site whenever I wanted to make an update. So I know that there are tools out there that you might be familiar with, like Squarespace or Wix. I think those are awesome tools, but I wanted more customization. I designed in Sketch and I wanted an easy way for me to design everything exactly how I wanted to design it. And I heard about a tool called Semplice, which was built by a designer that I follow whose name is Tobias Van Schneider. And basically what Semplice is, if you haven't heard of it, is it's a WordPress plugin, or I guess a CMS tool. I don't know the technical lingo, but I think it's a CMS tool that allows you to drag and drop content, images, or whatever else that you want in order to build out your website. And it's a tool that was made for designers who don't want to code up their portfolio websites. So if you are also in the process of trying to build out your own portfolio, definitely check out Semplice. But the way that I'll break this video down is I'll show you guys my old UX portfolio so you guys have some context as to what it used to look like. And then I'll take you into a high-level process of what I typically do when it comes to using a process for my personal projects. So what I usually do is I make a list of words where I'm trying to figure out what it is that I'm trying to communicate with the product that I'm building. This is not the same process for every project, but this is the process that I use for my personal projects. And then after I come up with that list of words, I create a mood board that visually represents what those words mean to me. And after I get into finalizing that mood board, I get into the low fidelity sketching stage where I'm ideating, and then I move on to the high fidelity stage, and then I'm implementing and just tweaking things and moving along as I'm building out whatever it is that I'm building out. And for that implementation stage, I use Semplice. So yeah, let's get into it. So what you're looking at right now is my old UX portfolio that I was using, that I had built with the HTML template that I talked about earlier. So it wasn't a bad site. I'll just take you through it real quick. So there was this header at the top where it had my name, and there's a bunch of links here at the top, and if you clicked on any of these links, it took you to certain sections of the page. Right, as I'm scrolling down, this image in the background is fixed. Then there was a section where I was showcasing my design work. I didn't like this section because I was using inconsistent imagery. These images were logos. This is an image of a site that I had made in Parallax. This was another screenshot of a site that I did. This is a photo of my wife. This is a photo of some illustration work that I did. So I didn't like that I was using inconsistent images, but I also didn't like that I could, if I ever took out these two content sections here, this fourth section here had to basically be floating in isolation here on the side, and I couldn't customize how this layout worked with the template that I was using. There was another section where I was showcasing some of the logos that I did. So these are just all conceptual projects that I had done on my own. But as a UX designer, I thought that it was kind of overkill because as a UX designer, I don't work on logos every day. It's not what I get paid to do, but yet I'm still showing that kind of work here. And then I had this about me section, and then this animation here at the bottom of the page was something that I did 3 or 4 years ago when I had just started learning about After Effects, where I thought this was something that could differentiate myself, and I would always show it in my interviews. Then at the bottom here was a contact me section, and I have all my social links and of course my resume. So I'm not saying that this was a bad site, but I didn't feel like it showcased who I was in the way that I wanted to showcase myself, especially through an online portfolio. I feel like I was still trying to figure out my career long term when I began, so I added in all this extra work, like this logo design work, parallax site. It's cool that I know that stuff, and it's things that I did, but at this stage of my career, I'm more focused. I know what I enjoy and know what I don't enjoy. And I have things in here that I didn't enjoy doing. So yeah, I recommend for anybody who's building out their portfolio, showcase the kind of work that you enjoy doing most. Like here in this Fandango Now section, I'm showing work that I love to do. This is all the UI UX work that I did at Fandango. And these are some of the animations that I did. So when you click through each section, I'm talking about what I did. But these things right here, at this point in my career, these things are irrelevant. So with the new portfolio, I really wanted to take that stuff out. This work here, I really wanted to take out. If there was I love this style, but if there was some way to incorporate that into the new site, I knew that I could do that, but I just wanted to do it in a more elegant way. So back in 2018, when my wife and I got married, we had designed all the collateral for our wedding ceremony. So everything from the wedding invitations to all the decorations that were on the table at the ceremony. And how we got started with decorating all the things that we did was that we came up with a list of words like I talked about earlier. And the 2 words that we landed on at the end were tribal elegance. And for my website, my portfolio website, I wanted to use those 2 words because I feel like my wife and my daughter, those are the foundations for my personal life and my professional life as well. So I was like, I'll just use those 2 words as a reference point for the mood board that I built out. So yeah, the mood board that you guys will see are all referenced from tribal elegance. I didn't feel like I needed to create a huge mood board, especially for my own portfolio site, because I'm over 30 years old. I know what I like. I pretty much know myself at this point. If I was working on a project for somebody else, this mood board might be a little bit bigger, where I might want to narrow down what that person likes, but I know myself. I know what I like. And I felt like I just needed to use a few photos. But what I learned from doing this exercise is that I gravitate towards a neutral color palette, something that looks really organic. So I see, some light browns here. I see some tan colors. I also learned that I love photography that looks very focused and minimal. So there's a picture of a woman here, and there's not a lot going on. Same thing here in this picture with the wooden centerpiece right here. And I love this photo of a young girl. I don't know where she's from, but she, it's very focused on her, and she's wearing some of her cultural attire, right? And the other thing that I like is illustration that looks very playful. So this is some African rock art from thousands and thousands of years ago, but it looks pretty, the colors that they use look very warm and almost looks like these deers are dancing right here. And here I see some organic shapes right here that look really, it looks unpolished and unfinished. I like that. And down here, this looks very geometric, but the patterns look really playful, and I like the way this all came together, so it looks cohesive. Boom! This is the updated UX portfolio that I'm going to use for I don't know how long, but I'm using it. I'm proud of it. It's been a long time coming just to get to this point. When I went into Sketch, the next step that I did was I looked at the references that I got in the mood board that I had created. So like if you looked at at the bottom of the mood board, there was like some layouts that were there that I really enjoyed looking at, and I decided to implement that into my own portfolio. And then I love the African rock art, and I love the Michelangelo painting, so I created this GIF right here of you know, me wearing some tribal, elegant African attire because I'm Nigerian. And that was inspired by the image that I saw of the young child with wearing her tribal attire. And there's an About Me page where I basically have an image of me and my daughter. And I liked, there was another reference that I didn't add in the mood board, but I really liked the fact that on some fashion websites and photography portfolio websites, it just looks like they've got this About Me section that's just text, and there's a simple photo of themselves. So I decided to take that same approach. And with the contact page, I added in a GIF animation that I had done a long time ago when I created a clothing brand called Boo the Savior. I thought it looked really playful, and it went back to the tribal, elegant feel that I was going for. So I just decided to add that in here. So, and then this logo at the top here, I created in Procreate. I basically went into Procreate, scribbled out my name. Well, I did my signature, and I thought that it was an elegant touch to the rest of the site that was built out. And like I said before, if you haven't checked out Semplice, definitely check it out. If you also want to build out a customized site that looks really good. But yeah, I think this looks like it's just a lot more focused. It's a lot more elegant, and it's got the look and touch that I was going for. And basically, if you click into any of these links here, similar to my old site, I'm just touching on things that I did at each job that I had, and I kind of talked through what I did at that job or that thing that I was building out at the time, right? So there's still some updates that I want to have on this page, but I feel like as a designer, you always want to make updates, and at some point you just got to launch with something. So this is what I have for now. I think it looks good, it does the job, and it's up to par with the standards that I create for myself. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.